It's Jess.
Hi! June is Pride Month, and I'm sure lots of people are posting different types of videos on YouTube discussing their issues and discussing how important it is that we have Pride Month. I thought that I would do the same thing. For those of you who don't know, I'm bisexual. I came out a couple years ago, and I actually had a conversation on Facebook, a couple of them, not too long ago, about LGBTQ representation and bisexual and definitions and whatnot, and I thought that because this is about the gayest shirt that I have, that I would make a video about Pride and Pride Month while also making myself some bisexual representation shirts. So I've got some shirts here that I picked up from Michael's. I've got my fabric markers. I'm going to angle the camera down, but I would love that you just listen along and maybe even comment down below with your own issues. If you have any answers to my questions, I'd love to hear back from you. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, so I had a conversation not too long ago on Facebook, a couple of them actually, about the importance of Pride Month and how it is reflected in our community and how it's so, sorry, that's my cat, and how it's so important that we have it in the first place and the history behind why we have it. And I had some people that I had on my friends list in that moment telling me that they didn't think that Pride Month was necessary. They felt that it was being shoved down their throats. They thought that it was being forced. And a friend of mine and I decided to try to share our knowledge, because we are from that community, with them. And it didn't go over very well. They decided that they just were going to stay entrenched in their beliefs and that they didn't feel that it was necessary to learn at all. They thought that we were ridiculous, that our ideas and our identity were made up ideas and were medical conditions that needed to be treated. Bjorn, would you mind not doing that? And they didn't think that our identity was valid. They thought that it was a medical condition that needed to be treated. They were being very closed-minded in the way that they were commenting. And eventually I decided that we didn't have enough in common to even remain friends, and I ended up unfriending them. But I wanted to address some of the issues that they pointed out. And like any true drama queen, I took screenshots, so I will be referring back to those every now and then. One of the points that I had brought up was that Pride Month is there, Black History Month is there, Asian History Month is there, Mexican History Month is there. We have holidays like we have Labor Day, Memorial Day. We even have cultural holidays like Christmas, Valentine's Day. And so why is it so bad that people want to get together with people with their same beliefs and in their same class and to celebrate something that they have in common? They recognized all of the other holidays and other celebrations except for Pride. Really bothered me. One of the things that I had talked about on my wall on Facebook was that I wanted to know what people's own definition of bisexual meant, because the internet has conflicting ideas. And so someone came up and they said that they believed that bisexual meant that someone can only be attracted to two genders, traditional male and traditional female, which kind of brings up the idea that bisexual people are transphobic, which is not the case. So then it was brought up that perhaps pansexual was more of my alignment. But I really don't see why there has to be a difference between the two in the first place, because why would we need to include a prejudiced identity in our community in the first place? Why would one assume that bisexuals are prejudiced against people who are trans? I don't see any other group of our LGBTQ plus flag being accused of being prejudiced against another group. It just doesn't make sense to me. You can comment down below and let me know what you believe is your own version of the proper definition, or what you believe in that sense, because I just really don't understand the difference, or why there even needs to be a difference in the first place. The reason that we have all of those people of color history months is because they were being dehumanized at one point or another. They were being acted out against. They were hated. They were mocked. They were hurt. They were made to be sinful even. That was another one of the things I was dealing with in this conversation, is people kept trying to bring it back to religion and saying that people in our LGBTQ plus family were sinning against God and sinning against his son, Jesus Christ, and that we needed to repent of our sins. But I tried to point out to them that according to their holy book, the Bible, that Jesus wasn't prejudiced against people who were gay and queer. That he didn't say that we were going to hell. He didn't say that he hated us. As a matter of fact, he said that he came to fulfill the law. The law being the original laws laid out that God gave to Moses, to say that, you know, all of these things like wearing mixed fabric was considered to be against God's law. Eating certain foods was against his law. They have over 600 laws in that religion. And so when Jesus Christ came in the Bible, he said that he was fulfilling the law, which means that we no longer had to follow that law. We no longer had to deal with any of those laws. We didn't have to live up to those standards anymore because he came to fulfill it. That was the end of the line for it. So a lot of parts of religion right now are still clinging to specific ideas of the law, which is something that's real. I have an entirely other video of a word against religion, which you can go back and watch. I go more into depth about this kind of thing, which I'm not going to go off on a tangent about. But being bisexual, when I came out, I felt like it was a big deal for me. I felt like I was finally coming out. I mean, I was claiming who I was, loud and proud. For the longest time, I thought, you know, well, I can appreciate an attractive woman. I can appreciate beauty in any kind of person. I can appreciate attractiveness in general. And then I thought to myself, oh, well, you know, I like hot girls, hot guys, you know, I just like hot people. I can get that. But I wasn't actually claiming bisexuality. When I finally claimed it and I came out with that rainbow filter, some of you might remember, was going around on Facebook. I came out, I put up the filter, I changed my status on Facebook. I thought it was this huge deal to me. I even mentioned it to several of my friends in conversation when they felt like they were being discriminated against in their workplace, and I said that I could relate to them. I knew what they were talking about. But it just kind of, it wasn't until much later when one of my friends was mentioning that they always celebrate their friends coming out of the closet. And I said, oh, well, you owe me those rainbow cupcakes then. And they were confused, and I reiterated, well, you know, I came out of the closet at this time and I felt erased, that nobody really cared. And they admitted that they didn't understand when I had come out, and they apologized, and, you know, I felt more accepted then. But even sometimes when I talk about the way that I feel as being a bisexual person, I feel like I'm not taken seriously. And the fact that I'm white kind of comes into play here, because I really don't have a lot of room to talk about discrimination and prejudice, because I haven't experienced it to the caliber that people of color have experienced. And so in no way am I taking away from the way that people of color have been oppressed all of these years. In no way am I comparing myself to them. I'm only talking about representation in the gay and queer community. So I just want to specify with that. When I first entered into the relationship that I'm currently in, I came out of the closet with them, and of course there was some hesitation. There's a lot of stigma, I think, in the bisexual community that someone who is bisexual is more likely to cheat because they have twice the amount of people that they're attracted to. I honestly just call bullshit on that. I think that that is discrimination, prejudiced myth that's been perpetuated by people who have been hurt by people who are bisexual and hurt in those kinds of relationships. So comment down below if you are a bisexual person and you have experienced that in the past, and people reacting that way when you tell them that you're bisexual. If you feel like you've been put in a box because of a stereotype, please comment down below. I'd love to know that I'm not feeling alone on this matter. I'd also like to address the importance of representation. So we're seeing a lot more representation in the media right now. We have shows like Shameless, shows like Will and Grace, shows that like the Ellen Show, that represent the gay community. You know, I feel like that's very important, obviously, but there's another barrier there that hasn't exactly been breached yet, which is Disney and superheroes. There's another large outcry against having a representation in a Disney princess movie. There was a huge outburst of anger when LeFou from the live-action Beauty and the Beast movie was gay. If anybody remembers that being a huge issue for no real reason, and honestly made a lot of sense if you think about the cartoon too, because LeFou was just completely obsessed with Gaston. He didn't want to be him. Completely and totally in love. Makes sense to me. So there's a huge amount of people who are upset at the idea of having a gay princess, which I think is ridiculous, because there was an enormous amount of acceptance when Tiana was a princess from The Princess and the Frog, because she was one of the first women of color princesses. It was awesome. It was truly a huge step in the right direction for Disney. And there's a lot of superheroes right now that canonly are gay. Wonder Woman, the creators have confirmed that she's bisexual. I mean, she did come from an island of all women. Deadpool, the merc with the mouth, is pansexual. If you look back into the movies, yeah, he has a long-standing girlfriend and fiance even. But if you see the way that he talks to the men, for those of you who pay attention to the comics, Harley Quinn is bisexual as well. When she broke up with the Joker, she entered into a long-standing relationship with Poison Ivy. I'm really hoping that the new Birds of Prey movie will address that. I think that would be really important to see. Well, there we have the first shirt. What do you think? I think it's pretty awesome. Marvel's Loki is inspired by the Norse mythology, and Loki is pansexual and gender fluid. If you actually look it up in Norse culture, Loki has a history of being a shape-shifting god, and he shape-shifts from female to male multiple times. In the Deadpool movie, the Negasonic teenage warhead was also lesbian. She had a girlfriend named Yukio. She was the first queer couple to appear in a mainstream superhero movie. Awesome. Super, super awesome. I think one of the big milestones of being a person in the LGBT community is going to Pride and Pride festivals. I personally have never actually been to Pride. For those of you who have been, I would like to see your comments down below to tell me what your experience was like going to Pride for the first time. How many times have you been to Pride? What do you identify as? And did you feel like you made friends at Pride? Did you feel like you were accepted at Pride? I'd like to see how you, and if you were there with a partner or partners, what their depiction of Pride is as well. Because I would love to go one day, and I'd just like to know what it's going to be like. I know it's different in every city and it's different in every year, but it is 20 by teen, and I am, yes, hello, that's my cat Bjorn, he says hello. So I'd love to see your comments letting me know how you felt the first time you went to Pride, what it felt like to be surrounded by people who are of your community. I'd also like to hear your stories of what it was like for you coming out of the closet. Did you have a big party? Did you feel accepted and included in your family and within your community and within your friend group? Or did you feel erased? Did you feel like you were invalidated for the way that you feel, the way that you love? Did you come out when you were single, or did you come out when you were in a relationship already? What movies and TV shows did you feel like you were properly represented in? For those of you who have seen my video of A Word on Religion, and even for those of you who haven't, I really didn't address the way that most religion views our community. I used to be a part of that religion, and I vividly remember being a young person and being at an anti-gay rally. Looking back now, I realized I had no idea what was going on. I was given a sign to hold, and I stood there and held the sign, pictures were taken, and I didn't really know what was going on. I remember some of the signs. Don't know why I was holding the signs. And we see these things all the time of people holding signs like that. And I think it's truly awful. The whole point of this video, aside from talking about my own experience, is to start a conversation. I think a lot of videos on YouTube right now, especially for those of you who are first coming out of the closet on camera, welcome and congratulations, and you are loved and accepted in this community. For us to find our commonalities. I'd also like to know if you yourself chose to come out of the closet and you came out on your own, or if someone outed you. I'm blessed, very blessed, that I wasn't outed, but I can't imagine what it was like for those of you who were. If you feel like you would like to share that down in the comments and how that was like for you, I would love to hear your stories. Or if you post a video and you'd like me to see it, please comment down below for me to be able to go see your video. Who was your first crush when you realized that you weren't cisgender or straight? For me, Shigo from Kim Possible from Kim Possible, Kita from Atlantis, Ruby Rose from Orange is the New Black, the chick from Danny Phantom. You could go on and on. And that's all, folks. All right, shirt number 2. Well, this was a very long video, and at one point I did get pretty rambly, but I'm not going to delete most of this video. I feel like it's important to have a video that's lengthy and shares someone's internal struggles and real emotions and real feelings, and even starts a conversation, hopefully. I'm going to tag this with a lot of tags, so I hope that lots of you will be able to comment and to find community. And once again, to those of you who choose this month and year to come out of the closet, welcome. You are truly accepted. Comment down below. I also have an Instagram and a Twitter. I would love to connect with you there as well. If you have a coming out video that you've posted in the past, please link it down below. I would love to watch it and to see the way that you come out on camera. If you came out on camera to a friend or family member as well, I love those videos. They always give me the chills. Anyways, I put out new videos every Monday. Make sure to give that like and subscribe button a 1-2 punch, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.